Howdy. Hello, good evening. Welcome again. Episode 2. Oh yes, episode 2. I see the bot's working now. Keep, you can fight away. Welcome back. Bit quicker than intended this one, but I knew there was a lot of things coming up and I thought I'd better throw this episode out before certain things happen this week. So, last week's episode 1 did seem to go quite well. A bit overly long, maybe, from the feedback, but that was mostly down to, like I say, E3 and everything else kicking in, which meant I had to dabble into quite a bit of stuff to talk about. Hopefully, we're going to go through things a little bit quicker this week. Not as many videos, thankfully. But we shall see. If you do have any questions, any feedback or anything like that, just as always, stick it in the tech channel on the Discord. You're always more than welcome to put everything in there. So what we're going to be talking about this week. So let's bring anyone by again. Babinski, fuck off, Scott. I knew you were going to bring that up. Anyway, there we go. So this week we're going to be talking about Windows 11. Yes, I know we touched on it last week, obviously the leaks and everything, but I knew it was coming around. It was indeed the launch and details of when it's coming. So we're going to be talking about that. McAfee founder dead. Indeed, seemingly the founder of the McAfee antivirus company has been found dead recently. More information about that one. Some Twitch bans, yes. So, yeah, okay. I know the chat's just saying, you know, surely he's never owned a Nintendo. Yes, I didn't actually remember because I used it once and then I gave it away. I actually donated it to a poor man from Geordieland somewhere. Yeah, I thought, you know, he's feeling the need for another Nintendo. Hot tub bans. We'll also be talking about the new servers which are coming for LOTRO on Wednesday. Now, this is going to be the big topic of the day because it not only is to do with the new servers, it's about certain other things that were mentioned as well. We're going to be touching back onto Battlefield 2042. I think this is going to have a little bit of a recurring theme going until launch because we're going to find more and more information every week. Donated. Can I have a 25 quid back? I don't actually think I charged you for it. I actually think I gave you it. Honestly, I do. I don't remember actually doing anything about it. I just there you go. You can have it. Also, AMD, some of the tech that's coming out, it launched their Fidelity FX Super Resolution. And to be honest with you, it's not looking bad, but we'll have a little quick look at that as well. And then last but not least is going to be the Steam Summer Sale, which has just started. A couple of things just to touch on and everything else in between on that one. We have got a new little thing that I'm going to throw in after we've talked about the LOTRO and the new servers. So when we're just after this, after we've gone through all that, we've got a new little game. I actually devised this game today. And I thought it'd be quite a good little funsy just to break up the this stream. And it's called Name the Game. Oh yes, we'll get to it in a bit anyway. But we'll just back up, boink, up to Windows 11. Basically, if you didn't see it, they did the launch last week for all the details about what it's going to be, the look of it, etc. If you haven't seen it, you can have a look at it now. So there we go. That was the intro vid that they launched. Now, yeah, just going through some of the comments. Obviously, you guys typing away to do with various things. Tom, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, Microsoft did state a little while ago that Windows 10 was going to be the last version of Windows. After that, it was going to be kind of a live service, constantly getting updated. You'd never have to buy another version, kind of thing. Eventually it's going to be subscription kind of shit, isn't it? Let's be fair. We know they're going to do it, but they know giving stuff away for free worked very well for free upgrades, etc. Marketing campaigns from Keeper. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it keeps them prominent, doesn't it? Keeps them at the forefront. Just to touch on what Magic said, there'll be certain aspects of Windows that people won't be able to run, and that just relates to the direct storage. I'll have a little word about that in a bit. But yeah, it just looks like a glossy UI overhaul. What I see there from personal experience is going from Windows 7, which I thought was quite streamlined, to Windows 8 and 8.1, and it was like, what was the point of that? I make a serious investigation into the viability of my running Linux on my main machine. To be honest, the whole TPM thing alone is going to be a pain. I might just switch over to POP instead. TPM is a trust program or trust platform module. Which it's going to actually require. It's saying that you cannot run it without having the trust platform module enabled. Now, on most people's PCs, if they were built within the last 5 or 6 years, then they will have the trust platform module enabled somewhere in their BIOS, or is enableable. Enableable? I don't know if that's a word. Enableable. But there is actually a plugin module that you can actually buy, but you don't generally do that. It's a BIOS setting. But Windows 11 itself, they said it's coming out later this year. They haven't stated exactly when. They've never said specifically it's going to be out on December the 1st or anything like that. I reckon that'd be a fairly good guess, to be honest, around that time. They've just said holiday season. Okay, so that can vary from probably Thanksgiving onwards for them, which I think is Thanksgiving sometime in November for them. I can't remember in America. The good news is, if you want to upgrade, how you doing, Sharble? Anybody that is on Windows 10 already, it will be a free upgrade. It will be a free upgrade. However, there is a caveat to that. I like that word. I love that. Everything's got a caveat. Anybody that's got an existing Windows 10, and they have said it, and it was in a Twitter reply today, or yesterday, I think it was, that anybody that's got Windows 10 now will not be able to upgrade until the first half of 2022. So, it's going to be coming out in Windows 11, or it's sometime holiday season. Now, if you want Windows 11, you'd be able to go out and buy it and put it on your PC straight away. If you want to be... see, there we go. I wasn't far off. 25th of November. So that's holiday season onwards, really, for the US. So pretty much, if you want to go out and buy it, physically buy it, and pay for an upgrade, you could do if you were desperate to get Windows 11 on your machine. But they've said sometime first half of 2022 is going to be when everybody else who has Windows 10, which is probably quite a decent amount of people, I know we're definitely on Windows 10. Probably everybody that's in the chat is probably on Windows 10 as well. You're not going to be able to upgrade for free, again, just to reiterate that, until the first half of 2022. They haven't again said when. I think what they're doing is they're probably doing a launch on new systems, new laptops, new PCs that get sold. There you go, there's shiny Windows 11. Let's see how it goes. If there's major problems, the people are kind of screwed because they can't go down to Windows 10. However, if they said from the launch day, hey, everybody have free Windows 11, and then it turns around and it's a pile of crap and everybody's system's crashing, they're in a whole world of hurt. If they delay the majority of people that are going to be on Windows 11, which are the existing Windows 10 users, if they delay it and find that there's issues, they've got a chance to then sort that out before it hits millions of machines. I think that's where they're going with that anyway. That would be a good idea, I think, rather than just saying, there you go, day one, everybody's on Windows 10 or Windows 11 rather. Oh shit, that's gone wrong. But some of the features anyway, which you'll have seen in the video, that's still playing in the background. It's redesigned the start menu. Obviously, you'll see it's right in the middle now. It's not at the far side where it was traditionally down in the bottom left-hand corner. Everything is going to be centralized, so it all kind of adjusts to suit. The more icons you have there, the more, you know, it expands and centers. I don't know how that's going to feel, actually. I think it's going to be very weird to get used to something like that. But I can imagine after a year or even 6 months of using it, you probably get used to it. But then I'm sure there'll be somebody who'll create something like Stardock, who'll create something similar to the old systems of the old start menus that we used to have. And they'll come out with a little program that pushes everybody back to the left-hand side. So... Exactly. And I think that's probably another reason, Scott, that they're looking at delaying it and going, saying, look, we don't want to do that again. Automatic update, you got Windows 11 and screwed the pooch. Again, it gives time for vendors of hardware, even older hardware, a chance to iron out their drivers as well. So I can see why they're doing it, and I think it's a good move as well. You're going to get better touch, pen, and voice support. Again, probably aimed at tablets more than anything. Voice support. I mean, does anybody ever use voice support on a desktop? I never have. Pens, no. Again, tablets and such things. What that's more aimed at. Yeah, to a degree, I can appreciate that, but I still think, Keepy, that majority of people would be using a proper dedicated tablet anyway. I don't think they'd be there drawing on the screen. They'd use a separate tablet that's probably better than anything, unless obviously they have a monitor that they use. But most artists, I doubt, would be using a screen in front of them. They'd be using a desktop, you know, kind of tablet. So, yeah, that's a feature. Whether it's going to be as prominent as everybody that's playing in the background right now about how you can share and everything. But one thing, well, they brought back widgets. Obviously, bottom left-hand corner, you could, you know, bring up your start menu and everything, and you'd be able to put various widgets there for like news. A bit like what you get on an iPhone. If anybody's got an iPhone, you get all your widgets on the left-hand side and stuff like that, so you can get the weather, you can get the news, stocks, etc., all that kind of shenanigans. My daughter draws on the screen bloody Sharpies. Yeah, there we go. That could be an issue, couldn't it? Teaching the kids that you can only use a specific pen. Yes, that one, not that one. Oh, you got permanent marker rolled across your screen. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, Keepy, yeah, again, but it's aimed at someone with a tablet, you know. I mean, I'm always interested to see how many people actually use tablets. Via a whiteboard, Tom. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, as a daily usage, you know, how many people do actually use it? So, interesting. Anyway, one thing that's quite, and I don't know how this is going to go, but there's going to be a new Windows store. They're going to revamp that and everything. It's going to have the Xbox store built into it as well for all of us, which I think could be quite good. But they're going to allow Android apps to run natively on Windows, which is a bit weird. I didn't see that coming. I don't think many people did, actually. But again, there is a caveat. Yeah. And that is that you have to use the Amazon App Store to use these Android apps. So obviously there's some big deal going on there between Amazon and Microsoft. So... yeah, so sounds risky indeed, and I think that's one of the things I have mentioned is about side-loading apps onto a system. Now, whether they lock it down in some way, shape, or form, I'm not entirely sure. They've been very canny in what they've released about the information about how this is going to work, but Android is notoriously secure indeed. Not a hint of sarcasm there, Tom, at all. Obviously, game-wise, auto HDR for a lot of titles. Not too sure how auto HDR is going to work, because sometimes it can look like a dog's dinner, really, when they actually do it and if they do it wrong. But I suppose that's down to the developers to allow it to happen. And also direct storage for gamers. Now, a lot of this has come across from the Xbox Series X new consoles. Again, I did mention it last week. The problem with the direct storage is that you have to have a certain requirement when it comes to hardware for this to work. If you have a standard SSD, most people do now, a standard bigger than a credit card size SSD that runs over SATA 6 connection, no good. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. You have to have at least a 1 terabyte NVMe drive for direct storage. Now, most people are going to have a boot drive. I mean, it would count me out because my boot drive is only half a gig because I went for the fastest, but I didn't necessarily want the largest because there was no point. All my other drives were going to take up. So that's going to cause an upgrade for a lot of people. They are going to have a 1 terabyte NVMe to allow direct storage to run. Some of you business folks as well, I know Magic, she's used it for meetings during the pandemic and everything with school. Teams is going to be integrated directly into Windows as well, so I don't think that's really too much to shout about in in that sense, but you know, it is what it is. It's something there. Now, if you want to check to see if you can actually run Windows, I've got a little link. I'm going to put it into chat for you. This is direct to Microsoft. It's not anything dubious. It's not anything nefarious. If you go there, it is a .msi. It's an installer. You can go there, download it, and it'll check if you can run basically Windows 11. It'll also tell you other things, other information about your PC as well. But you can click the can it run Windows 11. If you get the error and you've got a high spec system that you can't run it, you won't be able to run it. I will guarantee it's down to the TPM, the Trusted Platform Module. I will get it into my head what that means. But yeah, Trusted Platform Module. But like I say, mine was disabled, but I went into my BIOS today on my computer to enable it. Now, the problem with that, as always, anybody who's maybe a competent user of a PC, and by that, you know, they can use a PC, they can type, they can use a keyboard, they can use a mouse, they can start programs, they can use Teams, they can, you know, run games. But if they have no clue about how to get into the BIOS, they are not going to be able to do that if it's being disabled. So going forward, I think the vendors of the motherboards are going to have to make sure that the TPM is enabled in the BIOS from the start. Mine was disabled, but I've enabled it, so I'll rerun that test. But like I said, that's a perfectly legit download link. It's download link. It's what I grabbed myself, so just grab it and check it and see what it says. See if you will meet the minimum criteria. The thing I want to see with them integrating Teams directly in, there was a furore about Media Player that forced a version without it for a while in some places. It could open anti-competition use for them, but then the same could be said about stuff all over the show for them. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, it's the whole browser issue again, isn't it? It's saying that you're saying that we have to use Internet Explorer, but I believe Internet Explorer is going to absolutely be ditched. You are not going to be able to use that on Windows 11. I think that's another thing that's coming out of it. You are going to be able to obviously use what is their other one that called? It's down here somewhere. I don't even use it. Edge, Microsoft Edge. You can use that. Obviously, that's their new upgraded one. So that's going to be probably an option. Most people, I think Chrome still has a big market share of that, but who knows? More details will come, I'm sure, going in the next few months as we get closer and closer to the holiday season. Which, yeah, and that's the irony of it, Tom, is that Edge is based on Chromium, which Chromium is the basis of Google Chrome. So technically, they're very similar. It's just, as always, it's a basis, and then people diverge off in various directions. Colin, how are you doing? It's okay. Does one want to use Microsoft? In some edge cases, fuck me, Colin. Jesus, for God's sake, man. Do you know what? I need to find my soundboard for that, because you can have a job. There we go. That's for Colin. In some edge cases, does one want to use Microsoft's browsers? For free Windows to Windows 11, expect to need to have a Microsoft. Yeah, to be honest with Delvinest, I don't think that's a bad thing, to be fair. I mean, you can create one just purely so that you have it set for Windows. I mean, anybody can create a Microsoft account, you know, and literally use it just for their Windows and nothing else. So I don't think it's too bad. Yes, you could be like, ooh, but they're going to see what I've been doing. What I've been doing. In this day and age, you know, nearly everybody's snooping on you in some shape or form. So, hey, take it with a rough, with a smooth. But we'll leave Windows 11 there because I'm sure after last week talking about it and all of this week, I don't think we want to go on too long about Windows 11. So, moving on. McAfee. Yes, obviously a lot of people will know or have heard of McAfee. They will actually know that John McAfee was the founder of said company a long time ago. But recently, he's been found dead. Apparently, it all stemmed to him being held in Spain. He'd been wanted in America for basically facing charges of tax evasion and crypto fraud. But he'd been managing to elude the various police forces. Yeah, he did. I mean, you look at him and you wouldn't trust him as far as you could throw him, but, you know, he was like, okay, I've made a lot of money and I'm going to blow it on all sorts of crap. But he's been held in a Barcelona prison, and apparently the Catalan Department of Justice has stated that his death was probably, I love how they put this in, probably due to suicide. Okay, they didn't say it was, but obviously they hadn't done the post-mortem or anything like that. Now, previously, I'd read that he'd actually faked his own death on at least 2 occasions because of people trying to extradite him back to the US. I mean, he must have known that he'd done something wrong. Epstein's ghost killed him. Yeah. And that was one of the things that he will be. Oh, fucking hell, Colin. Jesus, man. I'm not going to read that one. Yeah, he actually did say on a previous occasion that he thought if he was ever found lifeless in a cell somewhere, it wouldn't have been of his own doing, should he say. And he mentioned that a couple of times, but yeah, he did live a very, very full life, should we say. If you, I'll let you guys do all sorts of Googling on the various antics he got up to, but he was quite a character, as a lot of you have said. Like I say, he just had as he got older, his beard got darker. He was doing a bit of a Noel Edmonds, you know. The older he got, the darker his beard got. So he was certainly using some hair dyes there. But yeah, definite character, absolute character. But yeah, definitely someone to... I think if you went to a party with him, like a Dark Santa, absolutely. If you went to a party with him, you would probably find hookers, blow, and God knows what else there, because he had the money. I mean, he'd made millions. He'd absolutely made millions from McAfee. So real life GTA, yeah, very good. Yeah, I'm surprised if somebody doesn't put that in as a create him as a character in the game, in the new one. Can you? Oh, do you know? The creators of GTA now, Tom, are going to be making a character that's going to be like his. How to remove McAfee is a classic. I've never seen that, Colin. If you do find it and you want to link it, by all means do put it out, because I can imagine it'd be quite hilarious. So yeah, but moving on anyway. So we'll leave the slightly macabre stuff to there. We're going to move on to some Twitch bans that have been dished out fairly recently, and in particular to two. Well, we'll say the very good-looking ladies, but the reason for their bans has been much discussed across the internet. Basically, two of the two top creators, and they are top creators because of the amount of subscriptions they'd had, etc., and the viewers, Amaranth and IndieFox, basically got banned because of sexually suggestive streams broadcasting ASMR. Now, Is this the person that leaked her mic? It's pretty much, yeah. So there's Amaranth and IndieFox. Now, anybody that doesn't know what ASMR is Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. Okay. Now, pretty much, it's soft copper. Now, this is the whole debate, and I'll just. It's not a mass debate, but you know. But the thing was, they were doing all these ASMR streams, but they were laid on beds wearing very tight-fitting clothes or in very inappropriate positions, should we say. Now, yeah, I mean, ASMR, like I say, it's something that you want to have a look at, and don't think of it as, like I say, as being a pornography, but it's a sensory thing of just listening to a certain noise. And yes, you can, yoga, yoga positions, yeah. But yeah, tread carefully, Tom. Yeah, what you find and what you get are two different, maybe two avenues that you might end up going down. But just be very careful. Now, there's an irony to all this, not only because of the bans and the outrage of what it was for. Now, they only got 3-day bans. Now, these, I know for a fact, I think Amaranth has been banned at least 4 times this year already. Yeah. 4 times from what I can gather. It may be more, it may be less. I'm not entirely sure. But people are complaining about the length of the ban and the reasons behind it, because Twitch are pretty much they don't know what to do with it, because 4 years ago, and this is the irony bit, IndieFox actually posted on yeah, missing a trick. Yeah, get the hot dogs and the hot tub out. Yeah. She actually allegedly posted this on Twitter, and I'm going to read it verbatim as to what was allegedly said by her, and this was a post by her. She said, "I'm ashamed to say Twitch is a platform that supports females selling their bodies for cash. You are teaching little girls to sell sex because that's what's popular. Make them wear t-shirts and pants. Compete on the same playing field as men. Feminism is equality. Spread the word." Seems the mighty dollar got to her there, because what she got banned from, and like I say, it's only a 3-day ban, was pretty much everything that she just was against there 4 years ago. Now people can change their outlooks and everything, and that's not a problem. But you then, you can't complain too much if all of a sudden you get a permanent ban off a platform because you have broken rules. However, what I want to say is, my budgie smugglers, wow, that'd be an interesting one. And this is what I think it boils down to, is, and it was just something I wrote on my notes, is it a case of money is more important for Twitch rather than upholding their own rules and standards? Yeah. That's the thing, because you got to remember, these are classed as top creators. Now, I don't know the people. I'm not dissing them. Fair play. They found an avenue that's made them a shit ton of money, but this is where Twitch always gets the bashing, because people can get banned for stupid, innocuous things, yet other people that are top creators and the income is coming in. Yeah, I know they had been demonetized, but then all of a sudden, boom, there you go. Here's an OnlyFans. They're not going to be paupers overnight by any time, any stretch of the imagination. No, they're banned. But to be honest with you, Original, they're not banned. They're back there. They're back live, as far as I know. I haven't looked. But, I might have to do some market research. Hey, what? Did I say that out loud? But like I say, they are top creators, so they bring in a lot of money into Twitch. You got to remember, even though if they're partnered, they've got a better rate than somebody who's an affiliate like myself. For every subscription I get less than half. Now, the Keepy, you're not going to win. The reason for that is because of taxation. You get a 50-50 split with Yeah, get Magic to have a look, and then I look over Magic's shoulder. Yeah. But like I say, we get 50-50 split, but then taxation, you end up with about 40%. So say, for example, out of $100%, $100 of subscriptions, I'd end up with, say, $60, for example, something like that, you know, because of taxation and everything like that. It never works out at a complete 50-50. So, but as a partner, you get more favorable, you know, split. And I'm not talking about these ladies either. This is across the board. Now, obviously, the big streamers, they get an even better favorable split. Just start streaming on OnlyFans. Top heavy creators. All these puns are coming out now. All these puns. But if they're bringing in and looking at one, and it was a clean picture, it wasn't anything rude or anything, it was showing the subscription numbers that they were pulling in per stream, was like in the tens of thousands. Yeah. So $5 per sub, they get 10,000 per stream. This is new subs, not just one sub, you know, an overall. This is on one stream. So if they, the big guns, if they get 10,000, times that by 5, 50,000. Now, even at a 50-50 split, Twitch would get $25,000 for that one stream. Yeah. The creator would get, you know, the same if you just took it as a 50-50. Yeah. Are Twitch really going to turn that money down every time she streams or they stream? No. Because they're in it to make money. So you got to ask the question, and it goes back to, are they upholding their own standards? Yeah, I love the production plan, but it just again, it's because they're not. I don't actually think that they're doing what they are set out to do in the rules and everything, because the mighty dollar just says, here, you can have some of that. We'll let that go because you're doing good for us. King Nap has been to check. But this is it, the original. They will weave through it. I mean, they lay it down. They'll say that they will never ban people for sexiness, but then there is a certain limit to what they will do. But then it starts vagueness. You know, somebody has to overstep the line. I will guarantee that if some person who's, you know, just starting, you know, maybe got 100 followers or something like that, all of a sudden did that same stream, they'll be banned straight off it. Straight off, I'll guarantee they'll be banned straight off it, because they said, oh, we've just brought in. But when somebody, and another Twitch partner actually did go after them quite a bit, and there's been a few of them that have gone after them, and they made a parody of it about the rules from Twitch. And these are Twitch partners that have said this, you know, that they're pretty much like, Twitch, you don't know what you're doing. You know, why are you allowing this to happen when a 3-day ban means nothing? It means like a loss of revenue. But all it was like, hey, guys and girls, I've been banned off Twitch. I've got an OnlyFans. Come and see me there. And they advertise. This is the bad thing. They actually advertise their OnlyFans on there as well, on their Twitch streams. Yeah. Yeah, there's a reason the law has been involved in writing terms of service. So there's Weasel Room. Yeah, it is. I mean, at the end of the day, stop the chats, art music, sticking to streaming game. But to be honest with you, having chats isn't a problem. Downward dog post towards the camera. No shit, you got banned. Yeah, exactly. See, Napper knows his yoga positions. If he didn't, he does now. But yeah, I mean, if they stopped the chats, I wouldn't be able to do this, you know. But I'm not going to all of a sudden be getting my wanger out on stream, you know, wearing me budgie smugglers or, you know, a thong at the crack of my ass, because, you know, yoga. Yeah, I know. we had that one. But you can see it's causing a bit of consternation through that. It'll all disappear. It'll all be swept under the carpet, and then, lo and behold, they'll come back again. It'll happen again. Because if you get banned 3 or 4 times and you're only getting a 3-day ban, I got suspended for once. I can't remember what it was. I think it was for playing copyright music. I actually got banned. No, I got banned for 24 hours. What it was, and it was kind of my own fault, really. I'm not going to blame Twitch for this, but obviously they jumped on it. It was the day that David Bowie died. and I set up. I pulled a load of videos off YouTube and just played the videos on my Twitch channel. Within an hour, I was banned for 24 hours. I can tell you now, if I was bringing in $50,000, I wouldn't have been banned within an hour. But yeah, there we go. That's one of the things. But I just thought it was irony, very ironic how Indie Fox had said the things about, you know, selling the bodies for cash. You're teaching little girls to sell sex because that's what's popular. It's very educational. How do you think I know the poses? Yeah. Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Right. Slurp of the tea. Ooh. Green mug. Green mug. I forgot about that. I'm just waiting for it to say twat on the bottom of it. Yeah, he's actually a green mug. It is a green mug. So, Star Galaxy Tea. Yeah. Right. Now, here's a Quint. Do you want to do name the game now, or do you want to do it after I've talked about LOTRO? You want to do name? It's a new little feature. New feature. Name the game, or do you want to do it after talking about LOTRO? Ah, see, here we go. Original's like, no! No! No, you're guessing it. Oh dear. I'm not going to put up a poll about it. No, can't have mod favoritism. Fight you for it. You want? Oh wow, Magic's trying to. Magic's saying she wants the deciding vote over here. Well, I'm not saying, but yeah. Oh, Magic. Oof. Oh, oof. Magic's saying now. Oh, Jesus. Right. Come on then. We'll do it now then, shall we? Okay. Right. Let me just get rid of that. Right. It's a new game. It's just to break up the monotony of Keeper Elos. Yeah. There is no Keeper Elos. Okay. Right, so it's a new little game just to break up the whole of me talking all the time. Give my voice a rest as well. Right, I'm going to show you an image. Don't worry, it's not of me and Budgie Smugglers. Now, the image is blurred. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a timer for 60 seconds. Now, you can have as many guesses as you like. The winner, if anybody does get it correctly, somebody will eventually, is going to get 1,000 geek coins. Yes, I'm going to deposit 1,000 geek coins to do with as your pleasure. Spend. If nobody gets it within the 60 seconds, I'm going to slightly de-blur it so that it looks less blurry. Bungle. See, we're all trying and we haven't got to see the picture. So I'm going to set the timer for 60 seconds. You're going to see the picture. You've got 1 minute to see this. So let me just bring up the timer. Let's just reset the timer. Oh, I didn't reset. Oh, come on. Refresh. There we go. Right. Got 1 minute. Try and name that game from that blurry image. It'll give me time to rest my voice. It's just going to be guessing anything. Like I say, you can have as many guesses as you like. Magic does actually know, because I've told her the whole thing of how this is going to work. Jet Set Willy. Fuck me, sideways. Ace Combat. World of Tanks. Ooh. Elite. Oof. See, everybody's thinking it's something to do with me now. Horizon Zero is the other like again. Outer Worlds. Ooh. Bad rats. I need to keep up with that if we actually do find a winner. At what price? Yeah, for 1,000 geek coins. Waiting for your GameCube game. Oh, right. Nobody got it. So I'm going to de-blur the image. I'm going to reset the timer. So just give me a second while I find the de-blur. So I'm going to knock it down to 50%. And we're going to reset the timer. There we go. Pong. No Man's Sky, Planetfall, Sacrifice, Fallout 1, 2, 3, or 4. That made it worse. It did a little bit, actually, to be fair. It is worse. Yeah. It is actually 50% less blur. I know, it's irony. 7 Days to Die Fable. Audible advert. Odd World. Mortal Kombat. Defo kicking something. Street Fighter. Streets of Rage. You're all getting you're getting caught up in it now. You're like Tony Hawk skating. Oh, Kenshi. Right. So we're gonna de-blur it even more. Hopefully this time it doesn't make it look worse. So let's just take it down to 15%. There we go. Right, let's restart the timer. Refresh. Call of Duty 1 Infinity. Warhammer Total War Battle Sim. Ooh, see, we're getting a little bit close. Ooh, Populous. Ancestors. No, totally accurate Battle Sim with Giants. Tabs. Oh, I can see where you're going with it. Fable. No, nobody's got it yet. Yeah. Give up, no bloody idea. Stronghold Legends. Right. Arkworld. The next one, if we get to it, Lord of the Rings Conquest. No. The next one, I'm going to take it. Black and White. We have a winner. Original. Well done, that man. Yay. Round of applause. Black and White. It is that Peter Molyneux game. It is indeed. And that is... Is it? I'll bring it up just to preview. Hang on, get rid of the timer. It is indeed Black and White. Plays me as your god. So I'm just going to totally unblur it. There you go. What boomer shit is? I knew that was going to catch people out. I knew it. Now, funnily enough, there was a guest in there, and I think it was you, Tom, Tony Hawk skating. Ironically, that was the first one I was going to do. However, I couldn't find a decent image of it. So I actually changed it to this one. Boom. Did you? Right, did I actually miss that?
Yeah.
Did you? Right, I do apologize because I must have missed that. Bad Rats. Oh, yeah, sorry, Corwin, you did. Sorry, yeah, you did. I do apologize. It was actually Corwin. Yeah, I never saw that. I just kept seeing Fable and everybody complaining it was a worse blur. Yeah, indeed. Right. So, right, let me just sort that out then. So, yeah, it was Black and White. I just thought it was such a cool little game just to run. So, yeah, Colin, sorry about that. I didn't see that one there. So, let's just find Corwin. Yeah, it just flew past very, very quickly. TDP. There we go. Corwin, have you've just all of a sudden changed your... You're not normally on this one, are you? You're not normally on Corwin TTV. Ah, yeah, he changed it, yeah. Just trying to catch me out. What was your rematch? Yeah, rematch. As per usual. Yeah. Frostglade, isn't it, your other one? Yeah. Yeah, well, what I'll do is I'll put in, add that to, obviously, Corwin TV. Are you gonna keep this one? Never, I love you, man. Leave Daisy for me, Jesus. Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll sort that out. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit that. I'm going to give you 1,000 points into your total. There we go. I will add in your hours as well. And original was the other one, wasn't it? That did get it later on. Yeah, so Yeah, sorry. Everybody missed it. It was quite bizarre. Sorry about that. Right. Original Hun. You know, just for him getting that, I'm going to give him another 1,000 as well. Because I'm generous like that of giving you virtual coins. There we go. Trust me, they're virtual coins, original. Handing out the riches, indeed. You say, yeah, the riches, yeah. Look at that. I'm going to make it rain. I'm going to give everyone some free coins. So there we go. That was just a little bit of funsies. Like I said, it's just to break it up. It is good. I do like... What I was going to do was actually get an image, and then I was trying to work out some way that it would... another one, fucking hell. It would actually de-blur automatically over a minute. So people could furiously do it, but I couldn't do it, so I had to keep redoing it manually, which was a bit of a pain. But anyway, that was Day in the Game, and it was indeed black and white. Not a Michael Jackson in sight. Right, so quick slurp before we dive into the meat and potatoes. Oh, furiously doing after all that Twitch pan talk, indeed. Very good, Colin. Right, so the LOTRO new servers. Right, if you haven't heard about this, you've been living under a rock. But pretty much on Wednesday, so not tomorrow, on Wednesday, they're going to get 2 new servers online. They're going to be legendary servers for LOTRO. So you've got to be a VIP or a lifetime account holder. Slightly different to Arno, which is the only legendary that is running as normal currently. There's 2, pretty much Treebeard and Shadowfax. So Treebeard is the slower server because obviously Treebeard and the Ents, you know, very ponderous and slow. And Shadowfax, like the wind. So Shadowfax in itself is probably going to be, I don't actually know, Confusions are all a bit slow on it, back again. I don't actually know how these are going to play out. Some people have said in my previous streams that they expect Shadowfax to be non-existent, that people aren't going to be on it, whereas Treebeard will be more fun because it is going to take you a lot longer to level. When I say it's going to take you a lot longer to level, it is indeed going to do that. You are going to be down 60% XP over normal. So what you level as on, say, Evernight or anything like that, it literally is going to be 60% slower. So you're only going to get 40%. So for every 100 XP that you would earn on a normal server, you're only going to get 40. So you can see it's going to take you probably 3 times, nearly, well, about 2.5 times as long to level. Opposite to that, Shadowfax is 50% quicker than normal. So you're going to do it in half the time, pretty much. And that's 50% for your leveling XP, you're 50% more for your legendary item XP, your mount XP, and then there's plus 20% on the virtue. This is something I'm going to come to as well. Now, they're offering a quicker or slower level experience, whichever way you want to look at, you know, whichever one you want to dive on. They are going to be level capped, like Arno and Ithil do. And then periodically the content will be unlocked. They're expecting Shadowfax is going to be unlocking content about every 2 months. So obviously you're going to be up to Shadows of Angmar to start with. Both servers are going to be up to Shadows of Angmar. Treebeard is going to be unlocking every 5 to 6 months. So you can see it's going to be a lot later. Now, as Keepy has mentioned, the thing that's going to be seriously new and different is that they're going to have the landscape difficulty option, and it's going to be only available on these 2 servers to begin with. I think eventually they're going to bring them into the normal servers as well. I see he's wanting to fight now. But if you want to try out, there's 9 levels of difficulty that's going to be on the new servers. I think it's normal, hard, deadly plus 1, up to deadly plus 6 or something like that. So pretty much the content is going to be quite horrific. If you're going to go into the world on deadly plus 6, I think you're going to have to be in a fellowship for it, because I reckon it's going to be tough. One thing that I did actually pick up on that, and I haven't actually got it in my notes, is that when you're on these servers, you have to, before you get to level 11, if you wish to change your landscape difficulty, you have to change it before 10. Yeah. 3 hard ones. You have to change it before level 11. So when you're at level 10, if you move that slider up or down to whatever you want to do it at, if you want to be on deadly +6 or whatever, when you get to level 11, it's locked for the whole of your leveling experience. You cannot change it after that. It's not going to be, ooh, this is going to be a bit tough. Ah, fuck it. Going to drop it back down. I'm not too sure that you can change it after, but if you move it below the relevant one, you lose the title. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you're going to lose it. So it's going to be interesting. Now, there's 2 titles per server, if I remember rightly, depending upon what you run it at. I'm sure I wrote these in my notes, but seemingly it's disappeared. So maybe I didn't save it as before. You probably could delve in S, but I think it's going to be a trouble to even do that, if you know what I mean. I think Charvel does definitely play on it. And I think Shadowfax is a combination of speeding through the content quicker, but having to deal with a harder difficulty level will be a good challenge for people. Is it going to be too much of a trouble to level characters? You know, you get I mean, I've got like 15 character slots, and I've got 14 there, but I think some people are going to need a new challenge, and this is what a lot of people have been asking for. They've said the LOTRO has got too easy. I know Scott and other people that have played from the beginning, even myself, it has got easier. It's got easier to navigate. I think the mobs are a lot easier. Now, that comes with knowledge as well. You know, knowing what you're going to come up against. You know what the mobs are going to be like in the area. You know what tactics to use generally. So things are going to be easier. So they're putting in this change with the landscape difficulty option. I think it is going to be a good thing. I think it's going to broaden people's time in the game because you're going to have to work for it. Exactly. I think the one thing in it is it's always something I talk about from time to time. The fog of war that they used to have, that you could not see the whole map, and it pisses me off that you can see the whole map now. If you go through the whole content on one character and you've shown everything on the map, fine, the map should be revealed. However, I still think per character, if it's your first character, you shouldn't know where anything is in Middle-earth. You might know that Minas Tirith is in Gondor, but you've never been there. You know, so why should it be revealed to you? Why should you know which way where you need to head to? Put the fog of war back in. And now it could be a technology issue. At Napa, people do ask me this quite regular, and I think it's never a bad time to try it, to be honest with you. You could, because the VIP servers, the problem with it is you have to be on a subscription or have a lifetime account. But I still think there's no... I can be my personal healer on Treebid. I still think there's never a bad time to dive into Lord of the Rings. It is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, fantasy genre. I'm trying to think of the right word. Subject matter. No, because that's nah, we'll go with that. So there's never a bad time. Like I say, the other thing is because it's free to play as well. You can try it anyway. So exactly. If you do like it, then try Fantasy IP. Yeah. I was just gonna think of that. I was thinking of meme trope and all sorts. But yeah, definitely, without a shadow of doubt, try it for free. There's plenty of people on Evernight who can give you a leg up for stuff as well, and then take it from there. If you do like it, then you've got, whichever direction you want to take. So they're the 2 new servers. Indeed. I mean, obviously, they're very lucky, Delvin, to have that link with the Tolkien estate for a game. Yep, Amazon's game was cancelled. It's been canned. We aren't going to see the light of day of that, but I still think it's going to turn up somewhere. I really do in the future. I can't see that they throw away all that work. Although we know that Amazon throw a lot of things away, don't we? After some revelations that we found in the press last week, but that's nothing to do with us. What I'm going to dive onto is sticking with LOTRO, and it's not about the new servers, but I've actually, and I don't often do this, but I have started doing it. I was watching some of the Lord of the Rings, the recent ones. One of them was with the new producer called Raninia. He seems a decent chap. I don't know which games he's come from, but he seems to have his head screwed on. He's talking he's saying the right things up to now. Who knows what's going forward? But I picked out a lot of things. Disposable employees contracts. Yeah, Lord of the Rings chords involved. Yeah, although the last one I actually watched, he had a bit of zip about him. More than normal. But to be honest with you, it was a Q&A with the producer. They're thinking about doing it once a month if diary time allows them. But they had a lot of things. Well, they're saying it's interesting things. I know we've got to give them time and see whether they can push for it. But just to go through some of the things that he did touch on, and I did make some notes on it. Obviously, a lot of you will use plugins. I did see that about Muckshifter. Actually, I did see one of the questions about the EU servers, because they did ask something about that with Evernight. But if everybody pretty much will use plugins in some shape or form when it comes to LOTRO. They're not the best comparative to things such as WoW, because of the API access and stuff like that. The API is very limited, and it's the expense of creating it. And they said it's very difficult to create a modern API for an old game system, and they said this is one of the restrictions. However, they did say that they're planning on improvements for the LUA functionality, which will allow plugins to be better and easier to use. That's what they're planning. Again, whether it comes to fruition is a different thing. Obviously, when the new owners took over and they released the progress report and everything that they plan on doing, there was a lot of furore about the UI upgrades, and everybody was like, oh yeah, we're going to get a graphical upgrade, and it's like, well, we never said that. Well, they did mention it. The UI plans are very much on the to-do list, and this is from Raninia's point of view, that it's very, very old. The UI is not in a place that he's happy with. It's very old, seems quite dated, and it could do with an uplift. Now, they've said that the problem with it is that it's so old and it's such a large undertaking that it boils down to several things: manpower, time, and money. Those great things. He's pushing for it. He wants it to happen, but whether it will or not is at the end of the day, Ina Global has got to go, yeah, let's go for it, or no. But to be fair to Ina Global, they did say in their statement that is something that they want to look at with 4K upgrade, because they said 2007 people were running at they weren't even running at 1080p. Most people, I mean, a lot of people were, but not many people were. They were like 1280 by 720 and stuff like that, and the scaling is pretty poor. You got ultra widescreen monitors now that these things just don't scale properly. So they do want to do the work on it. They can't promise when or if it's going to happen because of the massively large undertaking of it. He doesn't love weapon swapping. Some of you high-end raiders and that will be aware, or anybody that does any kind of raiding, that some people do swap weapons just because of the certain buffs that you get from a certain weapon being activated, etc. He doesn't want that to be in the game. And one of the reasons he gave is that it becomes very, very difficult to balance instances. So they've got to kind of balance for the people who don't weapon swap, but then they've got to balance it for people who do. So if you get a high-end raider that goes in and can switch weapons and debuff, they can whiz through that content, and then all of a sudden they've defeated the content, and they're like, oh shit, that didn't go so well. But then you get somebody else who, like myself, doesn't do that many raids, goes in, doesn't do weapon swapping, finds the content quite hard because I don't do that weapon swap. And it's something he doesn't really want because that's one of the big reasons is that it causes a problem. Keep people. Unfortunately, he didn't confirm that it won't be present, just that it's going to be adjusted or removed. What was that about, Keeps? Was that in relation to the UI? Original small graphical update and remove that shitty cash shop, and it could definitely. Oh, the weapon swapping. Yeah, I mean, they never confirmed or denied it, but he's not a fan of it, and I think they will try and I think this is where the upgrades to the legendary items is going to come in, because they're going to make that meaningless then. If they can do it right, that was when it could be taken away, if they can do it right. So, yeah. The cash shop, I mean, it's because the cash shop is their original because they went free to play. As soon as they went free to play and said, there you go, you can play the game for free. However, there is a cash shop to allow X, Y, Z. But there is ways around it, and, you know, you can alleviate things if you want. I think it's the people who've got VIP or etc. that feel like they don't want to go through all the content at 10 miles an hour, and they want to, because they've played it 12 13 times across all the different characters, or in Keepy's case 57. Yeah, well, this is the thing, all games now are that way. Call of Duty Warzone, there you go, have a blueprint. Oh, you want that one? It's going to cost you. Season pass, going to cost you. You know, and every company that sees that, whether they're in MMO world, they're in RTS, whatever, they're thinking, not only are we going to be able to sell the game, we can then extract even more money. It's basically going to turn into a subscription. It's like, if you want to play the game, yeah, you can have a subscription, but if you want to make sure you get this little thing, you've got to pay more money. It's not good, and I do support companies who will do a good game, release it, update it, do DLC, whatever that's decent, and then take it from there. So yeah, cash up is available for a free-to-play game. Unlocking areas behind it makes sense. There may be more friendly ways to lock it up, but then the game's tech is a minor problem too. Yeah. He did touch on the legendary items as well. He says his idea for the revamp is that he wants them to feel like some kind of amazing artifacts that you've got, not that you've just got some vendor trash that I throw away. I mean, anything that's level 100 that I don't need, it's just, I just bin it. I just don't want it anymore. I don't need it. Whereas they want it to feel like you're going to be attached to this object, and you're never going to want to let go of it, and you're never going to need to let go of it as well. And what he kind of alluded to is they want you to have a base item that is pretty good, but you're not going to have too many issues at actually getting it, you know, attaining it. It's not like you're going to have to do 12 raids on a certain level to get this legendary or anything like that. But they're trying to make it as relatively painless as possible. They haven't released any details. Yeah, for the effort tier 3, allies should crush up random drop item. I'm very interested how this is going to change the dynamic of the game, because I think it's going to be quite a phenomenal update. It's going to flip it on its head for a game. 12 years, really, I think we've had, or more, the legendary items. So it is quite a change. I know they brought in the imbuement and everything much later on, but I think that's just going to flip the whole game around, if they can make it easier. Because somebody actually brought it up in one of the questions, is that, you know, somebody that hasn't played for 4 years came back and they just couldn't bear the thought. Oh yeah, 13. They couldn't bear the thought of actually grinding because of the imbuement. They were like, no, I can't do it. I can't come back and do that again. I mean, I've done it on several characters. Magic's done it. Keepy, everybody, Scott, done it on several characters, and it is a fucking grind, and it's a pain in the ass. So we can all move to Final Fantasy 14 and become weebs. I know, Napper's game. Oh dear. But yeah, the legendary item change, they're trying to alleviate the grind, but as I've said on previous streams, is they're not going to alleviate it totally, because they want you to buy things from the store. They want you to funnel that. Don't put me in that bracket, Scott. Scott Two Tunes making me look good. Yeah, I've paid money to bypass the grind. Now, I actually think the Valar is the best way to alleviate that grind, but it just costs you like 6,500 LOTRO points to do so, and you don't get to learn your character. But on a second character, you know, it's good. There was a question about kinships as well. Obviously, most people are in a kinship of some description, and they want to update it because they said, it's a little bit lacking. It's a bit behind. It doesn't it doesn't have enough to it that people are getting value out of the kinship whole UI and what you can do within the kinship. They said it's very, very limited. Again, it's going to be one of those that's down to time, money, and availability. But they are looking at doing it, and they're hoping to have an update sometime next year on it. So they said at least They said at least 6 months away, if not more. Currency caps, and this was one that caught me out a little bit actually, because he said he cannot stand them. He hates currency caps in any way, shape, or form, and he did go into quite an expressive detail of why he didn't like them, because it kind of devalues things. And he says, well, you know, you get all this stuff and you've got nothing to spend it on eventually. He says, so we cap you, and then you just think, well, you know, I might need to spend it. But he did say that they are going to keep some currencies. No, well, yes and no, Keepy, because he did actually say that some currencies will retain a cap, because what they didn't want you to do is to hoard a lot of it, because they said it devalued it. And that would only count towards a lot of barter currency, is that they keep an absolute cap on it, so that if it's something that is constantly recurring and you can use it, it's as if we've then reused that again, and people have got thousands of these things, this currency backed up, they just go instantly and buy it. He says, and that isn't right, because it cocks up the whole economy. And this was something he did touch on about the economy as well, that it's not in a very good state at all, because people have got so much money, and they actually want to introduce more money sinks. So what they're going to do for that, I don't know, because they've said that people have got thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of gold coins, and they've got nothing to spend it on. And then that means that they don't want to spend it in any kind of economy within the game. So new players coming in, all of a sudden they look at the auction hall and stuff like that, and they're like, well, there's nothing for me to buy. And they're like, you know, so it is a problem for them. Again, they want to look at it, but he does want to remove currency caps. And yeah, so he did say you need to create items that you want to spend the currencies on, not just to hoard it. But that's up to them to devise something like that. But again, it's something that's one of the ones that I think they'd look at very, very further down the line. So be interesting. People were a bit disappointed because of the new servers that they brought, or they're bringing online anyway. They said, or if there's stuff on auction, it's priced for people with thousands of gold. Exactly, Nelbro, exactly. When they announced the new servers of Treebeard and Shadowfax, the people were very disappointed that they weren't the classic server like what they've released for WoW, which is going back to the old content. Now, he pretty much said it's not off the table to do it, but it is extremely difficult to achieve. And he says that they're not capable of doing it right now. He says if the team should expand, then they could, but it isn't off the table. But it's, again, I think it's even further down the line than currency caps and stuff like that. That I don't think they're going to, if I'm honest, I don't think we'll ever see it, because it's too big an undertaking. He was very praiseworthy of WoW and how they've done it and everything, but he says we're talking about Blizzard and Activision here kind of thing, rather than, you know, Standing Stone Games. He says it's not really comparative. So don't expect classic servers is pretty much what the upshot of that was. Regarding some more class balance, they have said that there's going to be some coming in update 31. but it's only going to be a few tweaks here and there rather than the same amount of basically the baseball bat approach that they did to the captains in update 30. So update 31, which will be the next update of significance, will probably only have some tweaks rather than a kick in the nuts to all the classes. People always moan about no classic server, several in a static before. He's not sure it could even work with modern development, network developments. It's a massive undertaking, a blizzard bigger than several small countries combined. Exactly, yeah. That's why I don't think it'll ever happen. And to be honest with you, they're then going to fracture the whole player base of LOTRO even further. All of a sudden, you've got classic LOTRO, but then you've got these legendary servers and essentially Treebeard, which is doing slow stuff. What happens to that then? All of a sudden that becomes a ghost town, you know. So yeah, I think that's a piston in the wind and everybody's going to get their feet wet. If you do want to see one of the Lord of the Rings videos, you can see it on this link. I'll just put it into chat there. That was one of the Lord of the Rings. I don't think it's the latest one because when I wrote this, he hadn't done the other one, but he dropped one in on Friday, I think it was. And I was like, shit. Anybody that's interested in player versus monster player, by the way, they still intend on doing that within the next 6 months. They're going to revisit it, and they're aiming for update 31, but they said there's no promises on that one, so maybe there is going to be some love to PvP or PvMP, but who knows, but yeah, Jarvel, I asked about that. It was yeah. It would be good. Like I say, some people do really enjoy PvMP. And I'm talking, yeah, they're always saying it. Like I say, a lot of the stuff you got to take with a pinch of salt. It's not in stone, is what they say. But I always say, what someone does is more important than what they say. Because if they follow through on what they've said, then you know that they will do it. But if they don't do it, but they've said they'll do it, then you can't just trust that word. So always believe what somebody actually does rather than what somebody says. I think it's a good mantra across the board, no matter what you do in the world. If somebody says they'll help you and they don't help you, then you can't trust that word, can you? So, but that's pretty much wrapping up LOTRO. It is a little bit of a the big focus on that one, just because I've been watching Lord of the Rings and obviously the new producer Q&A. Like I said, they are trying to do a few of those per month if they can. Yeah, he is working on certain stuff. He has been delayed, so it'll be who knows when that's going to arrive. So yeah, don't expect it anytime soon, but I think we know that from SSG. I mean, they've got a lot on their plate, let's be fair. It's okay saying about the LI revamp. They've got the new Brawler classics coming in. They've got Gundabad that's coming. They're still patching everything as they're going forward. That's a hell of a lot of work for a small team. So we'll see. Let's just hope that the new content is good. The Brawler is good and balanced. One thing he did, and it was Cord actually that said about the Brawler, because somebody had asked, is it going to be a tank? They said that, I think they pretty much, he said it would have tank capabilities, but whether it would be a good tank is a different matter. So who knows? But that's kind of tying up on LOTRO. There was supposed to be a patch that they did say that was delayed from last week that they were going to release today, but that didn't even materialize. So I think they're going to be waiting until Wednesday when the servers go down to then, or when Treebeard and everything comes up. Obviously, the servers will probably go down at the same time. They'll patch it then, and then rather than doing a shutdown on a Monday and then having to do one on the Wednesday or anything. So I think they'll just take everything down on Wednesday, patch the main servers, and then bring up Treebeard and everything. So, but I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to head into Treebeard? Are you going to fly through on Shadowfax? What do you think regarding the servers? I think Original's aiming probably for heading into Treebeard and going slow, especially if you've never done the old content, because you feel like you just whiz past it to get nearer to level cap, and you think, hang on, I'd like to play along with stuff. I don't know what I'd do, to be fair. I really don't, because yeah, it'd be great to level at 100 mile an hour on Shadowfax, but then what do you do when you get there? You do raids, and then you're thinking, okay, that's it, I'm scuppered. Treebird, the opposite. Is it going to be too slow a level and experience? Are you going to think that, well, I might as well be on a normal server with where a lot of my other alts are and everything? Because that's the thing. It's a new server. You see, you'll have obviously access to your shared storage, or the amount of slots you have, not necessarily the content. But that's it. You're not going to have anything else on that server. So it's going to be interesting to see what people think about that. Right, moving on. Only a few more bits to do. We're going to be talking briefly about 2042. After the success of us playing a bit of Battlefield 4 last week, which was a good crack, actually. We need to do some more of that. We'll hopefully get one lined up for maybe next week. I think something like that. We'll see. And hopefully have a bit more fun. But in terms of 2042, a couple of things did come out. One of the big thing is about using AI bots. Yes, they are actually going to be filling servers with AI. So servers are generally going to be quite full, maybe at least half full. But you might find that most of them are bots. Now, they've got to do this very, very carefully with the AI, because they can be as dumb as fuck, or they can be super noobs, which are just pawning you from 3 miles away with, you know, headshots, and you just feel like you're in cheater heaven. But if they did do, I think from Battlefield 1, they were testing AI, and they actually got it to a decent standard, according to them. Late next week works best for me. Just for the record, I have to travel on Monday. Yep, no, yeah, I don't think it'd be early next week anyway. The other thing is, what I'm probably might do is, because of the whole week of news that comes through, I might actually be able to do these on a semi-regular basis on a Monday, because Mondays are a little bit of a day. Usually I've played LOTRO to death over the weekend, so we shall see. But yeah, we'll put something up in the FPS forum regarding it anyway. But bots, like I say, could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. What will happen, and they have stated, is that as the server starts to fill, the bots start receding away, and then you pretty much could end up with 128 players of actual people rather than bots. So they said that they do good squad tactics, they will heal, they will drop ammo when requested, those kind of things. So who knows? I just hope they come up with some decent names. You know, that they don't seem like bots. You know, as long as you don't call them bot 1, bot 2, bot 3 up to bot 64, you'd be like, oh god, I've got a bot in my group, you know, that kind of thing. But it's supposed to be good, and again, it's pushing technology forward. AI is certainly a thing. Skynet, here we come. Bot Marley. Very good, Colin. Bot Oscar. Oh fuck, we're now starting them, aren't we? Yeah. Come on, any more? Use 1 2 5 4 3 7 5 3. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Any more for Bob? What does my bot look big in this? Wow. Yes. Oh, sorry. It wasn't a question. Sorry. Yeah. Didn't mean to ask. So the other thing as well is the unreleased mode, and I'm not too sure about this, to be fair. They said it's always going to be a homage to things of the past, and that long-term Battlefield players are going to, you know, really like this. But somebody, and it's this leaker that keeps putting up with stuff, said that they're going to, the unreleased mode that they're going to release, or release details of on July the 22nd at EA Play, is just going to be remastered old maps. Yeah, I mean, this is it. This is why I don't actually think this rumor is true, because I think they'll remaster old maps anyway, irrespective. But all maps, I mean, they always seem to have some Pacific Island, Karkand any day. But Karkand is going to have to be massively increased, because the player count is going to have to be doubled. Now, you either make the players smaller or the map bigger, and you ain't going to make the players smaller. So, yeah, I don't actually believe too much in this one being an unreleased mode is remastered maps. So I don't know how they do that. But we'll wait to see on that one. Hopefully something good. But yeah, like I said, about a month's time, we'll find out more details about that. But yeah, going forward, Microman Wars, yeah. He's like, you're there having to shimmy up the steps because you're that small. You haven't give someone a leg up to get up a step. You'd be like a leprechaun. You Irish should be all right. It'd be all like leprechauns. Joke. Yeah, Metro with 128 players. There's 128 players all laid down point to point with the LMGs just throwing grenades and pointing their LMGs at each other. Respawn, and then there's a medics at the back just yay points. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see how that one comes about, but we'll wait until July to see. Most like maps again going to have a player cam and sim with different modes like Rush and so on. Yeah, I mean, they have said I think it is going to be the bigger maps like Conquest Large, as they used to call it, is going to be very large. But certain other maps are not going to be. I'm just trying to think back of any other kind of game types that they had that's going to be able to be brought back. So maybe it's going to be something like Rush. I mean, something like Breakthrough and obviously Conquest Large are what they've I think are going to be the big 128 ones. But anyway, who knows? Hot Tub Massacre, indeed. Right, moving on. AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution. Now, if you don't know what this is, basically it's an equivalent to NVIDIA's DLSS, which is deep learning super sampling, which basically takes a lower res image and then super samples it to a high res at no performance cost. Now, AMD have always been a little bit behind with this. They've always lagged behind NVIDIA. And to be honest with you, DLSS 2.0, which is out now on NVIDIA hardware, newer NVIDIA hardware, RTX series, is quite good to a degree in most cases. Now, looking at AMD Fidelity, it's nice. I don't think it's there the same level as DLSS, and obviously not many things support it. However, they have actually said that it's going to be usable on AMD and NVIDIA hardware, whereas obviously it's tied into DLSS rather is tied into NVIDIA hardware only. So I think they're trying to appeal to everybody, just say, well, look, we're open for everyone. You know, it doesn't matter what you are going to play, what you're going to do, or anything like that. It doesn't matter what hardware you've got. We are going to be allowing you to use Fidelity FXSR. I mean, it's a godful to say that anyway. On any system. But yeah, again, it's new technology. It's going to take a while. They are making leaps and bounds, and this is why people have to have a little bit of patience and faith in AMD. They were massively behind on the CPU market, massively behind on Intel. And pretty much now they've overtaken them in the consumer market. I'm not on about how many people are using it, because obviously Intel systems have been out there. Mine's an Intel system. Magic's is an AMD system. But they have caught up massively, and with the Ryzen, that has developed so well over the past 5 years that now I would quite happily go to a new Ryzen, because the price performance is better than Intel's at the moment. Intel have had a bit of arrogance about them themselves. They've just gone, well, AMD is shit, and they haven't paid enough attention to what AMD have been doing. And I think they've actually overtaken now. They've gone a little bit further past, and you know that Intel are like, oh shit, because every time Intel try and react, it just doesn't work. They're just running very hot chips that, you know, are expensive, and they're like, okay. The problem I always find with AMD is that they're fighting on too many fronts, because they're taking on Intel in the CPU market, producing some great stuff for servers as well, not just desktops, but they're also then taking on NVIDIA in the GPU world. Now that's a difficult thing to do. You know, I know Intel are trying to come into the GPU market as well. They are massively behind. I mean, they're bringing out the Intel Z, I think it is, the XE variant of GPUs later this year, but I don't think it's going to be honest with you, it's going to be low-end stuff, productivity stuff for basic desktops. Not going to be touching anything that NVIDIA or AMD produce, not yet. But having somebody else in the market of GPUs is going to help, because it brings down costs because there's competition, and it also pushes development because there's competition. So yeah, Intel themselves, like I said, just diversion away a little bit from the Fidelity FX. They've just got a bit arrogant in themselves, and they think nobody can touch us. And then all of a sudden, AMD have gone, do you know what? We're going to punch you on the nose, and then when you bend over, we're going to punch you in the bollocks. And that's what they're doing. So fair play to them. We just need to give them a bit of time, and then hopefully we'll see how it is. Just regarding your comment, I have faith in AMD, Keepy, developing FSR. Probably I'm worried about how many devs will manage to take it on. Well, I think there's two things about this. They've said it's very, very easy to add it into your games. And this is from the mouth of some developers. However, we know that this has changed hands. You know, certain games have got it developed. Godfall, I think, is one of them. Now, I'm not saying Godfall is the best game ever, because I don't know anybody that's ever played it. But obviously money talks. If AMD want that to happen, they're going to throw money at games developers and just say, right, put it in there, put it into this, put it into this, put it into this. And they do anyway. I think it's the Hitman series is a classic example. They're optimized for AMD. So there's no reason to see what FSR isn't going to come in on a lot more games, but they do have to spend the money to help the developers, etc. I just hope it is adopted across the board. Not only from the big games such as, like, for example, Battlefield 2042, that you will have the option for both. But I can't see it, because I think NVIDIA will try and tie them down, because they know it. They use it as a marketing tool. They use it as a vehicle to say, hey, we've got the best effects that on any system, but you've got to have NVIDIA hardware. So yeah, tested something like 27 players that day. Most of them were testers. Yeah, it is one of the Terminator games, or the one that is out there now. I can't remember what it's actually called, but it is a Terminator game. But an extra load of mid-tier GPU is good for everyone, though. Anyways, who can't afford the big bucks have more choice. Exactly. Yeah, like I said, bringing Intel into the GPU market is going to be quite phenomenal. Right, moving on to the last thing before I totally croak-a-doke and bore you all to death. Steam Summer Sale. That is now live. It is on. I'll do my big plug for Everspace right about now. They are 20% off. This is the highest discount they've given to Everspace yet. If you want to get dived into, well, I mean, you can do the whole thing. It'll probably come up on the commands anyway, but it's 20% off currently. Worth every bit of money every day of the week, even if you don't play it until launch. There we go, Everspace 2. Thanks, Cheers Keeps. It's a phenomenal game. It's growing. It's lovely. Unreal Engine looks superb. I'm biased, I will admit it. I've worked for the guys, you know I have. I'm never hide that fact, but I still think it's a worthy investment. If you like space games, space shooters, it's something that I think you should get on board with. Yeah, maybe wait until later if you're unsure, but you know, coming over the next 6 months or more, we'll definitely have more Everspace 2, because there is a big update coming in July as well, so we'll find more of that. But going back to the Steam sale overall, there's only been one or two games that I've actually looked at that I thought, I might be tempted by that. One of them was Beyond the Wire. I think Napper, I think you've played actually a little bit. I think Original said the other day that you tried it, and that's half price I think at the moment, which is a very, very good price. The other thing that I've been looking at, and I think I said yesterday, is the DLC for Rocksmith and stuff like that. So I don't know what else is out there. Is there anything that's caught your eye that you think, oh, I've been waiting for this to be on sale, I must grab it? But because I'm sure we've all got the Steam games list that is just growing and growing and growing, and we never get through to playing them. You know, thousands of games, hundreds or whatever, and we never get around to playing them. It's all right game. It's like Squad and Postscriptum. Can be a lot of people camping around the map. Yeah, I can imagine that. You can see then, obviously, with something like that, that's where the appeal of something like 2042 comes in, because, you know, it's usually fast action, fast pace. But I mean, I like things such as Beyond the Wire, because a lot of the guns are bolt actions. You know, it's not just spray and pray and hope you kill somebody. But yeah, I think that was one of the appeals of the earlier, like Call of Duty's United Offensive and stuff like that. Yeah, there was machine guns, but machine guns were not that prominent. Yeah, this is hopefully, like you say, Napa, getting the Steam sale might actually allow more people to play it. So it's just such a congested market, really is. Just regarding the Steam sale, obviously, people do try and get the best value for money that they can, and there's nothing wrong with that. So people have been known to how you doing, Annie? No worries, my dear. You never have to apologize for being late. You can arrive when you feel like you want to. But everybody wants to get a good deal when it comes to the Steam summer sale, or any Steam sale, to be honest with you, not just the summer one. Now, one of the ways to always do that is to basically have a look around in other regions, should we say, of the world, because there's a disparity between how much people can afford in, say, Asia to what they can afford in North America or Europe. It's just simple economics. So I think in Europe we get charged Steam tourism, that's the one. We do get charged the highest out of everywhere. But this is one of the problems of first world problems, should we say, of living in a good economy rather than a very weak economy. So what people have done is that pretty much you log into your account via a VPN. So a VPN is a virtual private network. You will say that you are in Indonesia, for example, and then you log into your Steam store, and then you find the game that you've been after is half the price of what you'd pay. I'll tell you what, I'll buy that, thank you very much. And then you then log out with your VPN. Oh, I'm back in Europe. There we go. But I've still got that game that I've just been to Indonesia. I just flew over, you know, very quickly. Private jet and everything. Well, Steam are combating that now, and they're limiting how often you can change your country of your Steam account. The way they're going to do it is that they're going to basically stop you from changing your account every 3 months. So if you change it like now in June, you're not going to be able to change it until September, but it's going to be 3 months from this point. If you then all of a sudden try that, you're going to be locked to Indonesia. So you're not going to be able to change it again. So you're not going to be able to change it back. But obviously using a VPN, I'm sure some people will work out a way around it. Obviously there are other methods to getting things cheaper on Steam. There's lots of CD key sellers, some of which are down below, down here, underneath, which do allow you to get things cheaper. Generally, most of them are legit. Some of them do have problems. Some of them I don't ever use anymore. I did previously, but some of them are very dodgy. Again, you've got to do your own due diligence and look at them and think, are they any good? Are they going to be bad? Are they going to nick my credit card details? Are they going to do this? X, Y, Z. You know, CD keys, to be honest with you, are good. However, I will pull them up on the way that they handled Cyberpunk. They were the pain in the backside when it came to that, because you guys and girls know that I was giving away a copy of Cyberpunk 2077 when it launched. And I pre-ordered it through them to get the key. Couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. They basically oversubscribed. They didn't have enough keys to give out, and they ended up having to refund me. But luckily, obviously, I'm trying to think who it was that actually won the key. I want to say Winter something. I can't remember. Well, luckily, I managed to get a hold of somebody very, very kindly on eBay. They're a very genuine fella, and he had a spare key, and I managed to snaffle it. It did cost me more, but we got around it. Like CD Keys and Kinguin myself, never had an issue with either. Not sure if Keys does other software than just games, but King does. Yeah, Kinguin I'm not keen on. I'm always a bit more dubious with Kinguin, if I'm honest. Corwin, grey market sites are always dodgy, constant risk of buying a key bought with a stolen credit card. Now, this is I'm just going to address this. I'm not saying it's right or wrong or anything like that. G2A, definitely a no-go for me. But certain comments like what you just put about grey market sites, it is I think, something that is said by genuine sites, if you know what I mean. People who've got their own store. So like your Origins, like your Steam, etc. In all the time that I have ever used CD keys, I've never had it come back to say, oh, we bought a key that was bought with a stolen credit card. I know there was a big hoo-ha, but you've got to ask yourself, where do these... And it's the same comment, buying a key bought with a stolen credit card. Yeah, now don't get me wrong, somebody could have their credit card details stolen. That happens every day of the year. However, that comment I've never seen come to fruition where anything's been proven about that. Because if it was stolen, a credit card, etc., all of a sudden you'd have the police involved. CD keys wouldn't exist. Humble are a little bit different because they are genuine. They, without a shadow of a doubt, they are directly through in contact with the manufacturers of the game, the publishers, etc. And I never believe that comment of that things are bought with a stolen credit card. I think it's just a comment that is thrown out every time just so that people don't use them. Now, as we've said, Kinguin and G2A, not happy with them. I don't trust them anyway. It's when they start saying, just to make sure that you're protected, we're going to charge you another 95p just in case your key doesn't work, or we find out it's come from a dodgy source. When they have to even put that in as buyer protection, you've got to ask yourself, why are you letting people do that? So that's where I draw the line with those. Again, it's personal preference, personal choice. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use them or you should use them. I have a link to CD keys down below. You're more than welcome to use it. I get a little kickback for anything. Same with Epic Games Store. You can use my code on there. And Humble as well, using that link. Yep, I get a little kickback if you buy stuff from there. It's all above board, all genuine. If there's ever a problem, then I can generally intervene as well. But just do your due diligence beforehand and make sure everything seems kosher to you. If sometimes it's too good a deal, it generally is, and you use that as a base rule, because the last thing I want is somebody to get the details gone, and all of a sudden, shit, I'm out of pocket massively. But yeah, just be very careful what you do with that. But yeah, Steam Summer Sale is on. If you do find anything that you do like the look of, do let us know. I mean, it could be something. I mean, you got to remember there's thousands of games on sale, and when you log into Steam and look at stuff, you're like, okay, it's saying buy this and buy this, but what about this? And then you go clicking through all the links, and then you never find anything that you've thought, oh yeah, I've been waiting for that game. You can wish list stuff, don't get me wrong, but I do find that you always get an email saying that your game on your wish list is on sale. So some of the ones that are on your wish list, you're just going to wait until they like next to nothing, like a couple of quid or something like that. And you think, well, I'll buy it anyway. I'll never play it, but I'll buy it anyway. It's almost like an obsessive hobby. But that, I think, is about it. I think I've gone through everything. I can't. Nope. I think I've done. Yeah, everything's there. Everything's done. Everything's talked about. Again, please do give me feedback about this. This was episode 2 of the GeekCast. Like I said, I'm going to try and do them weekly because it is good fun, and we get to play Name the Game. Say, name the game. And I do apologise again, Corwin, that I didn't see your comment. Everything went through a little bit quick there. I was trying to keep an eye on it. But we'll do some more of this, hopefully. Another 2-hour podcast. It just runs away with it, Keepy, to be honest with you. I always rather have too much content than too little. The first... Fucking hell, original, Jesus. This was a good improvement from the first. The first one was shite. Dear. Yeah, also name the game. Try to run games after the Dark Ages, please. Right, actually, out of interest, does anybody know where Black and White, the original Black and White, came out? Pick a year. What year? Some of you are going to be 2005. Wrong, Napper. Wrong, Napper. Wrong. I know you're probably only about 3 then, weren't you, or something? 2001, Corwin. I think you are correct, my friend. Yes. I actually, like I said, I actually went for, I think it was 2001. Yeah, he's wicked. It's, I told you. Bought it on release. I actually didn't buy it, but I played it, but I didn't buy it. Hello. Yeah. It came from somewhere. Let's put it that way. Wow. You might be King Nappy. You might be thinking of Black and White 2 because they did do. Oh, Jack Sparrow. Yes, very much Jack Sparrow. But yeah, we'll definitely do more. Cheers, like gamer and less trailers. Yeah. To be honest with you, like I said, the last one was just a lot of E3, a lot of trailers and stuff like that. So, yeah, Black and White 2 was fantastic, but playing the village, it was. I just love the way that sometimes your character just went in and kicked the shit out of it, hence why the picture of them just hoofing a load of soldiers around. Right, what I was going to do is I'm going to finish that. We will upload this to YouTube if anybody wants to watch it again, if you feel the need, but obviously it allows people to watch it at a later date as well. But yeah, if you do have any feedback, if you want to tell me anything, if you want to message me, do it in the tech forum, the tech channel rather, on the Discord, which if you don't know where that is, I don't know where you're looking, but it's in the socials. And follow me on the Twitter if you don't already. I know most of you do. But thank you very much as always. Let's see what comes up this week in the tech and gaming world. Hopefully we'll have some legendary servers. I'm sure we'll be talking about them next week to see how the launch went. And let's and if you do find anything, if you think, geez, I don't know if Gaz has seen this, put it in the tech channel. We'll talk about it in there, but we can also bring it up on here as well for other people to find, because I can't see everything. I'm trolling the internet, but you guys can help me with the content as well if you want. But I'm going to go have a drink. I'm probably going to go for a wee as well. So I feel the need. I feel the need for a wee. I don't think that's in Top Gun. Wee indeed. Right. Probably won't be online tomorrow because it's the footy tomorrow. England versus Germany. Colin, I'll sort out your hours and rank and everything and points and stuff as well. But cheers for joining us on episode 2. Hopefully next week will be episode 3. In the meantime, folks, take care, be good, and in the meantime, be good. Just be good. Thursday. Oh yeah, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday's definitely fine. Thursday we have a booking. Yeah, well, it's D&D on Thursday. There'll probably be a stream before then anyway, Keeps. But yeah, there won't be tomorrow. Definitely not tomorrow. But yeah, D&D again on Thursday. So in the meantime, take care, folks, and be good. Just be good. You know, love you all. Bye bye.